Finally, WETSI feels a little less alone. For years, the art historian has tried to challenge the way Belgium deals with its colonial past. Now she's among thousands calling for the removal of all monuments of the country's longest-serving monarch, the man who headed up a brutal colonial regime in what is now the Democratic Republic of Congo, King Leopold II.
We all know that those statues have a symbolic power, and I'm totally convinced that for some people, they don't want us to demonstrate, or they don't want people to demonstrate and to say stop with these statues, not because they want to keep those statues there, they want to keep us in our statues of inferiority.
WETSI was born in Belgium, but had to fight racism all her life. She struggled to forge a career in the arts, facing many rejections. Now she has opened her own gallery that spotlights the work of black artists.
Because the racism here is very subtle. And this is what makes it so dangerous and so harmful too. There are so many examples, like if you're looking for an apartment, you have to say on the phone, yeah, but you know, don't waste my time, I'm black. Oh, maybe it's not, oh, maybe you're right, the apartment has already been taken.
The racism in Belgium, however, is not only fueled by a false image of the colonial era, believes her colleague. Leopold's legacy also reveals vital interests.
I think the most vulnerable spot is the wealth. How Belgian enterprise, how Belgian families got rich thanks to Congo. And Congo really helped Belgium to become a state.
Statues of Leopold II, like this one in the seaside resort of Ostend, are everywhere. But there is no mention that his lavish public spending was financed by Congolese rubber, and no mention of the millions of Congolese people killed in the process. Instead, the official website directs tourists to a walking tour, highlighting how the king's achievements bolstered the town's prestige. Since the protests started, a number of statues and busts have been taken down. But authorities are busy restoring others. This history professor thinks that sends the wrong message.
The main problem of Belgium, though, and this is again a difference with other former colonial metropoles, is that we do not have any monuments for victims of the colonization or heroes of anti-colonial resistance.
WETSI is collecting her son. She wants him to learn as much as possible about his family's history. Her own mother still remembers the brutal reality of colonial rule in the mid-20th century.
Back in Africa, our parents didn't want us to see them being treated badly. They would tell us not to come close. But I was curious. I would hide and ask myself why people were being hit. And one day, I asked my dad if he'd been hit. He said yes, and told me that he'd been punished because he didn't have enough money to pay the taxes.
WETSI knows that many parents of Congolese descent do not like to share unpleasant memories. But for her son and the generations to come, she feels transparency is the best way forward.
Tous les non-dits, tous les secrets de famille se transmettent de génération en génération.
All those family secrets are passed down from generation to generation, and it weighs on people. But when you say things clearly, this allows future generations to cope with the past, so they don't become victims of what remains in our collective consciousness.
De situations qui restent dans l'inconscient collectif.
The exact opposite is what you find in colonial art, a glorification of this time. In the Africa Museum in Brussels, most of the colonial art has been confined to a small room in the basement. But as long as people from that era are still alive, WETSI feels, that's not enough.
To them it's just, oh, look at our past, how glorious it was. Maybe we should put all those statues away for the moment. maybe wait that those people disappear and then show them again, but with another message, and just with the real message that the Belgium didn't bring civilizations to Congo. Belgium came to steal.
Everywhere you go in Belgium, you come across colonial monuments. Confronting the reality of this past is a painful but crucial process. WETSI feels now a first step has been made.